Okay, the main bath, the full bath. I started priming this, trimming it out. So we're gonna do two full coats of prime on the ceiling and walls, just like every other room. That'll go quick, and then we'll move on to painting, finishing the ceiling. But everything is spackled, sanded, and we just started priming. Paint is done in the main bath. So got that finished and then started putting things on the walls. So the medicine cabinet back up, that's the medicine cabinet that was already there. New sconces, new electrical all around, new hardware on the walls, right? Rack for the hand towel. We've got racks for the bath towels over there. And got that cabinet on the wall. There's an overhead light. Do one of those. So we still have toilet paper holder to put on the wall. Got some towel hooks that'll go on the wall here, and everything matches, of course. And what's next? We gotta pull up that toilet, get new flooring down, and get a new toilet down. So the flooring, there's a piece of it right there. So vinyl plank flooring, totally waterproof. You snap it together, nothing's getting through that. So that's the project for this weekend. Right, is that all? So start by pulling up the toilet, check the subfloor beneath it and make sure that's okay, because if you recall, in the half bath I had to replace some of that subfloor. So if I have to do it again, I have to do it again. No big deal, but we're getting there, and it's nice to the bathroom gets used a lot. It's nice to have it coming together. I forget if I discussed how to remove a toilet when I did the last one, so here you go. Now the first step, I'm going to turn off the water and get as much water out of the tank as you can. So turn it off. This is still full of water, probably has a couple flushes in it. Flush it as many times as you can until there's not water coming down. So it's just going to empty without refilling because you turned it off. Right. I should say it might refill the first time because the water in the tank, but the tank is not refilling. Still some water in there. Yeah, the tank is super gross. Not sure how it got that way. Maybe nicotine, just like everything else. Just want all that water, as much of it as can go. I want that gone. So the next step, can remove the line that connects the wall to the toilet. So you'll unhook this, a little bit more water might come out of here. Have a bucket and a towel ready to go there. So we'll do that, and then come back, and there's two bolts holding on the tank. One on this side, one on the other side. Remove those, and then there will be nothing holding the tank on. You can move the tank off the pot. Double check again that that's off. Okay. A little bit of water. So another thing to check, be aware of, especially in an older house, make sure that this valve actually shuts off the water completely, and that nothing's coming out here, because there are rubber washers inside of here that will wear with time, or maybe some other mechanism of turning the valve, depending on how old it is. And those can give out over time, and then even when it's off, you might have a little bit of water coming through here. So if that's the case, as I had to do in the other bathroom, I just unhooked. Well, I'm going to unhook this hose anyway, but you unhook this and put a cap on it. Put a cap on it, so whether this is on or off, the cap's just going to keep anything from coming out. There's your fail safe. You're good to go. All right, bolts are off the tank, so I'm gonna remove that and try to dump a little bit of water that's in it. Just dump that in the shower. Okay. Oops. So I already had the tank off, of course, to paint behind the toilet. That's how I was able to paint everything. You may have been to someone's house, you notice that, you know, the wall behind the toilet isn't painted the same color as the rest of the room because they couldn't be bothered. Dude, don't do that. Just remove the tank, paint the wall, put the tank back. Pretty easy. Okay, good. Next step. 2 more bolts to go and then we'll be done. You can move the pot. So we got one under each of these on either side. Remove that, lift off the pot. Now before you lift it off, be ready, ready to plug the waste pipe. So I've got some rags, some duct tape. I'm gonna stick those in and then duct tape it if I can, if it needs it. Because once you remove the pot, so that has the built-in P-trap. There's water in there blocking the smell of the sewage from coming up. Once you remove this, you just have a direct line to sewage. It's gonna smell. You want that plugged if this is gonna be, if the toilet's gonna be off for any length of time. And for me, it'll be off while I'm redoing the floor. So definitely want that plugged. Man, that's gross. Okay, actually one more thing before I plug it. So that's the wax ring. You always have a wax ring before the toilet in the pipe. Gives it a perfect seal. I'm gonna remove that wax ring and then plug it. And then before I do the new toilet gets brand new wax ring. Yeah, so plugged up. That was the wax ring that was in there. That was on top of like a gasket or adapter. Not sure exactly the need of that, whether they needed it to raise the height a bit of the waste pipe, or maybe the holes where the toilet got secured to were too beat up. That could have been the case. I'll find out once I clean this up a bit, and maybe I'll have to grab another one of those adapters. But toilet's off, I'll clean that up. And then I can take the linoleum floor up. Yeah, that adapter thing was definitely there because the toilet flange, where it's supposed to, where you bolt down the toilet, it's cracked on both sides, cracked here, right? So they had that adapter screwed in, and then the bolts would hold into that metal adapter. So I gotta think for a minute here. I don't know if I need to replace any of the flooring. It's a little warped, which might be fixable simply by putting screws into the floor, rather than the nails that are there. If those have just popped out because of the nails, I can straighten it back out with screws, then I don't necessarily need to replace the subfloor. But if I do, then I might want to consider just replacing the flange itself. So I got to think about that. We'll see. So here's where we're at. I thought that this plywood was the subfloor, the only subfloor, but it's not. It's an eighth inch plywood that is over the original flooring, and then below the original flooring is the original subfloor. Now the original subfloor, you know, it's seen a bit of water, a little bit of mold, tiny bit of rot. So in a perfect world, I would like to pull up all the wood around the toilet, like I did in the half bath, and replace it. But I'm not going to do that because my concern is that the original flooring, here's a piece, I'm concerned that could have asbestos in it. The house was built in '74, right on the cusp of when they stopped using it in building materials, or at least they were supposed to stop using it. So I don't want to cut into this and produce asbestos dust. So I'm gonna seal it up, seal everything best I can, caulk this crack, use self-leveling floor patch over this, clean it up. Then I'm gonna paint this area of the floor paint it with some old paint. I don't need for anything else but latex paint just to seal everything in there, so that it's less likely to rot in the future, and should be good to go and start working on the new flooring as I intended. Also, when I get to the toilet, I did buy a new flange repair ring, so new piece of metal for the new toilet to attach to, so we'll be good to go with that. Subfloor is prepped, ready to get those vinyl planks down. I imagine it'll go quickly. I don't have too many regular cuts to make, so get that done and check back in when the floor is down. Got the new floor all in there. So the vanity looks good enough with the new floor wall, painted wall, but the tub kind of looks like butt up against everything that's new. And it's gonna look that way for a while, so I do want to replace it, but I plan on building a 3/4 bath, so bath with a shower in the basement, and I don't want to do the tub up here until the bathroom is in the basement, because you know what they say with plumbing, come up with an estimate and then multiply by 10. So if I think it's going to take 1 or 2 days to do this tub and shower, it could end up taking a lot longer if there are surprises when I take it out. Wouldn't want to be without a way to shower in the house for a couple of weeks. So wait till I've got one in the basement. Okay, so yeah, floor is all set. And next steps, toilet. So I'm going to replace the valve and the hose for the toilet. And I'm going to put the baseboard molding in that goes behind the toilet, because this is the easiest time to do it before the toilet's in. Then we'll get the toilet on there and we will be good to go. Literally good to go. All right, we got our shiny new water valve, shiny new that thing. Got the new plate on there to secure the toilet to, so on top of the broken flange, and toilet's ready to go on. Good.